DistroKid has been the industry standard for getting your newly created music out to the streaming platforms, and now the DistroKid app is now available on iOS and Android. Yeah, check that out. The app is now available on your phone. Go to the app or Play Store and download it. There's so many features inside this app. You can do things like sign up and pay for a new DistroKid account. You can upload your new releases there. You can see your DistroKid bank and withdraw your earnings. You even get notified when you've earned royalties and withdraw from the app via push notifications. You can see hyperfollow links. You can edit your account details. You can see your streaming stats from Spotify and Apple. You can even edit and add lyrics to your songs there. So like I said, go over to the App Store on iOS or Android and download the DistroKid app now. Also, they have this new feature called Mixia. I know a lot of artists struggle to be prolific and make their music sound as good as the music they hear from their influences and their peers. That's where Mixia comes in. Nothing's ever going to replace the artistry and expertise of a real human mastering engineer. But for artists who are short on time or resources, Mixia is a powerful tool to help make the music sound great in a hurry. Simple interface, empowering the most novice of music creators. It's got unlimited song previews of mastered songs with one free download, and for $99 you get unlimited mastered tracks. So go check out Mixia and make sure to go to the App Store and download the DistroKid app so that you can get your music out there and get it heard. You're doing your thing and they're helping you do it. DistroKid.
No Simple Road. Yeah, here we go.
I know the road that may seem to go on forever and a lifetime.
Or edible hangovers.
Yeah, it's real.
Is it really?
Yes. Yeah.
Is it like a stone over from being too high the night before?
Well, I find especially if you take Mel can probably attest to this. Well, like if you take them like right before bed and they don't kick in, and then you go to bed, they kick in when you're sleeping. I wake up with more of a stone over.
I have not experienced that, but I'm not saying it doesn't exist.
I'm saying it doesn't exist.
That's fine. That's your world.
I
We're
take
talking
it
about
before
Jimmy's
bed,
world.
if I take it before bed, I sleep through it and I'm fine.
Hey now, No Simple Road family, it's Aaron.
And Mel.
And an edible. Oh, no, that means apple. Oh.
And welcome back to another episode of the middle of our conversation. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
Talking about edibles and stone overs and, you know.
I recently have rekindled my relationship with cannabis very slowly. We go on dates once in a while.
It's cool.
You've been going on dates pretty much every evening. I don't know what you're saying.
For a couple months now, it seems like.
But we haven't gotten to that point in our relationship where I can take an edible.
Other than like the CBN one, those hemp ones that you were taking for a while.
He hasn't taken them in a long time.
Yeah, they gave me night terrors, dude.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, it's good to have
but you
a
haven't
smoking
tried
buddy back.
Since you started this new
That's
endeavor.
true.
Yeah,
so
come on,
you don't
dude.
know.
Come on, take a 50
whole
milligram.
RSO fucking syringe to the dome.
No
dude.
thanks,
You'll
bro.
be fine.
You don't know my tolerance.
It's really nice to have something as a medication that's not giving you a million side effects, that helps you like truly relax and like have body ease.
The other night, I just like, Apple has his certain pipe out there, and I trust what Apple has in the pipe typically. And
which is usually indicas, which is like works for you.
I didn't know what was in there. I looked and it wasn't all the way gone. I was like, fuck it, I'll just hit this. And I
forgot to warn you.
I took a huge hit of it and it was hash. I blew it out. I was like, that didn't taste like weed, but whatever. And boy, oh boy.
Well, I was so glad to hear. I was like, oh no, I forgot to warn you about that. And I was waiting for the next sentence to be like, and I woke up and there was fucking frighteners in the room and things were coming to get me and the evil bunny. And you're like, it was great. I was all giggly.
I got silly and fell asleep.
Mel told me to quit giggling. She's trying to go to sleep. No,
Well-
it's nice to have you back using Cam because I always felt bad bringing all this stuff home for me, Mel, Ryder, and it'd be like, oh, nothing for you.
It's like living in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory and being diabetic.
Yeah.
Can't have sugar. It's exactly what it was like. But you know what? I'm a real hippie again. I can smoke weed.
Here,
Yay.
oh yeah, here we forgot to give you your card
Can I get my
back.
card back?
Yeah, Mel laminated it and I printed it out.
So we're trying something new today, actually, with No Simple Road. That I don't know why we've never done this before.
Maybe we have ever one time.
I don't know. Maybe.
I think
Who
we
knows?
have one time or at
We'll be right
least.
back. We're gonna go back and start
Yeah,
at the beginning
we'll
and
be right
listen
back.
to
We're
all
gonna
the
listen to
episodes and
400
figure this
episodes
out.
and
We don't
figure it
want to be wrong.
No, we're doing the intro before we do the interview.
Yeah, we're
Duh.
about to interview Ben Garnett, and we're super excited. We don't know anything. We can't refer to you to
I
any
think it's
part.
Garnett.
Garnett.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ben Garnett.
Yeah. But yeah, so there's nothing that we can give away in the conversation.
Yeah, that's what I like when you mentioned doing this. That's what I say. It's like, well, then we don't do what we usually do. So in this conversation, we talk about this.
Yeah.
And
We don't know what
kinda
we're
give
going to
it
talk
away.
about. We're going to talk about music for sure.
We do know
Yes.
that Ben was sent to us from our friend John Mylander.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
John.
John,
And-
you've sent us quite a few people over,
Yeah.
and we
and
are.
some dope individuals
Yeah,
too.
we're grateful for it. So thanks again.
Mel and I were listening to some of Ben's stuff this morning, and the newest release, Kites Keep, and the song. There's two songs that are out as of today. Actually, the song "Look Again" and featuring Brittany Haas, and also the song "Tell Me About You" featuring Daryl Anger. And I was telling Mel, it feels like an intersection of classical music and bluegrass to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it feels really good to listen to. It's like interesting for the ear, and somehow it's comforting too. It's like just feels really good to have around, like, you know, a comforting person in your house while you're doing something.
Yeah, and I looked on the website and it gives the best description. Obviously, they know, but like it says that it's cinematic, and
Yes.
each song is a mini movie.
Yeah, it's like literally like rolling out the red carpet, and then here is this
Yeah,
like interior production.
that "Look Again" song reminds me of like being on a boat going down like a river in the forest or
Yeah.
something. It's dope.
Yeah, I was listening to it last night. Well, I listened to it yesterday in my car a little bit, and then I was listening to it last night after taking some edibles.
And then it sounded. Have you ever listened to Kites Keep?
Well, he's got a lot. There's very interesting experimental stuff going on in there too. Like a lot of sounds. Like what is that?
Yeah,
Like,
so we're stoked to have Ben on the show, and we're also stoked to have Shop Tour Bus as our sponsor. Everybody,
Shop
go
Tour
check out
Bus?
Shop Tour Bus. They have the dopest Grateful Dead merchandise on the planet. I mean it. Grateful Dead songs told in picture on shirts. Have you heard of that before? I bet you haven't.
I have. I'm wearing one right now,
Yeah,
and it
you-
is. They are so comfortable.
That's the truckin' shirt, right?
Yeah, this is the trucking shirt.
Yeah, go to shoptourbus.com, and when you check out, put in the promo code No Simple Road, all one word, and you're going to get free shipping. You're going to get your cool box with maybe a Grateful Dead cassette bootleg in it, a bunch of extras. There's going to be a cool design on the inside. It's not just a t-shirt. It's an experience. Go to Shop Tour Bus. Yeah, that's the thing.
I like that.
Should we do the business?
Yeah, we could do the business. Well, I was going to tell people real
Tell 'em.
quick. If you want to find out more about Ben, you can go to bengarnett.net on the interwebs.
Ben Garnett.
And over on Instagram, it is Kid Garnett. And check out what he's doing. I love the label, Padiddle Records.
Isn't a padiddle a car with one light out? I think that is a padiddle, actually. We'll have to ask. Mel, do you want to do the business?
Yeah, follow us at No Simple Road on Instagram, at No Simple Road, and then www. I know Aaron loves when I do that. .nosimpleroad.com, which you don't need anymore, clearly, by the way, but it's still fun to say every now and then. And at our website, you will find many, many things, such as previous episodes. We've got photos from events that we've been to. There are links to our Patreon,
Our merch.
and you can also leave reviews from there from the old episodes. So if you go on, click on the episode, and you're like, oh, I really love this episode, I want to write something awesome, you can click on to the Apple website, or not Apple
Apple
website,
Podcasts.
Apple Podcast.
Podcasts.
Thank you, Apple Podcast, and hit the 5-star. Be like, oh my God, that was such an incredible interview. And then be like, that was fun. Loved it. Boom. And then right then and there, you're going to help other people find out about No Simple Road.
You can also call 971-808-1524. That is the No Simple Road tepid line. It's not hot. It's tepid. Give it a call.
Yeah.
You can leave a review. You can leave a trip report. You can tell us about a show. I know that somebody out there is at Fish, Bourbon, and Beyond right now. Or
Somebody is. I
fall
saw
tour.
there was a crowd.
Yeah. So you're going to have to call in. 971-808-1524. I'm talking to you that was there. Call in right now. You should do it.
Do it. Get off the fence. Do
Go
it.
to their Patreon at patreon.com/No Simple Road. That is how you can financially help support NSR. As you heard, we only have one sponsor right now, folks.
What?
And we have been chugging along, keeping it going, but we need your help. So please consider going to Patreon, signing up for $1 or $2 a month, and helping No Simple Road keep the lights on, man.
And if you are interested, go to modernradianceoregon.com. That is where you will find my website and my list and menu of services that I perform here in the Lake Oswego, Oregon area. You'll find facials, you'll find Reiki, you'll find treatments that can help relax and rejuvenate you. Again, it's modernradianceoregon.com. You can book your appointment on the website and support No Simple Road and Mel that way.
That's right. And most importantly, tell somebody you love about No Simple Road. That is how we spread the mycelial network.
That's what means the
NSR
most.
family. It is.
When somebody you love tells you, like, you're going to love this, it's like, okay, I'm going to listen to it.
Yep. And we're telling you, you're going to love Ben Garnett. And
Oh, I wanted to circle back to something
Circle
real quick.
back.
And it's
Circle.
funny that you this,
Put a pin
just
in it.
odd not. A pediddle is a term, alternatively spelled pediddle or perdiddle, for a vehicle with a burnt out headlight
Thank
or
you.
brake light.
a La
It
Prade.
also refers to the car spotting game.
Also,
I
a
don't
car
know how
with
you knew
no
that.
lights on is called a La Prade.
Okay.
You didn't know that?
No, I did not
You've
know
never
that.
played the Pediddle La Prade game.
No,
Okay.
Neither have I.
no.
Far out,
Did
man.
Slug Bug and Slug Subaru
You
up here
can't
in
do Slug
Oregon,
Subaru
things
here.
like that.
And
no,
I Spy, but
everybody be worn out and bruised.
Yep. All right. So we are going to do this interview together, folks. This is a new experience for all of us. And without further ado, the No Simple Road crew gives you
Ben Garnett.
this album, at least the first two tracks that are out on this,
Yeah.
listening back to the album that came out in 2023,
Mhm.
that album felt a little more avant-garde than
Mhm.
this. It was that
Mhm.
intentional.
You know, I don't know. To be honest, I don't know if I. Well, I don't. Yeah, I don't know if I hear music in that way, or I don't know if
Okay.
I hear those distinctions as clearly, maybe. But Yeah, in some ways, I had a few, I guess, compositional directives on this record. I wanted the songs to be a little shorter in nature. And I also had, it was a little bit more minimal as well. With the first record, it was just, we made that over COVID, and it was, who are all these musicians we can get together, and what's kind of the most expansive way we can present these songs. And there's the whole post-production aspect of that. And whereas this was more, what can we do with three people? It is largely centered around a trio. I guess in some of the tracks had an extra plus one special guest.
Right.
But, trying to, maximize this fiddle, bass, guitar trio, and using the guitar as this kind of world building ensemble instrument, and really exploring the powers of that. And so in some ways this record feels different intentionally, but I don't know, creatively or more avant-garde, I guess that's not as much as a guiding light for me personally.
And I feel like where we're at in the time-space continuum anyway, with the proliferation of content and all the stuff that's out there, genre has kind of dissolved at this point to a large extent. And seeing music in boxes is old school in a lot of ways, so
totally. Well, as demonstrated, I mean, in some ways it's at least in this particular niche of acoustic music, it kind of feels like it's been that way for a long time with people like Edgar Meyer and Jerry Douglas and Sam Bush. And it's like they make the music work for them,
right?
Whatever that means,
totally
just incorporating different influences or different ways of writing music. And so yeah.
Well, I was gonna say I love the first album and this one. You definitely have a very eclectic mind. It's like all over. It really, they both make you listen, because there are sounds that are coming out of the instruments, all of it, that you're not typically hearing. So I found myself kind of going back on tracks like, what is going on there? So it's very soothing and stuff too. I was listening to one of them last night after taking a few edibles, and very, very soothing. And it's like, what is that noise? And it's very soothing to somebody with an eclectic mind to listen to that. It really gets your attention and makes you listen to like all the notes to figure out what's going on with it.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. That means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a trip to hear music too, that like on the website, when I looked at like the about on your main page, it talks about mini movies.
Yeah.
And I never kind of thought about songs as that before. I mean, obviously that's happened in my head, but I never put the label to it. And I was like, holy shit, that's true. So have you always been interested in film too?
Yeah, that's a really interesting topic, I think. And I think it's a really kind of potent one as far as this intersection of, I guess, folk music, for lack of a better word, and I guess kind of jazz and improvised music with like kind of classical chambers type stuff. It's I feel like the way that cinema and music intersect has always been really deeply fascinating to me, and the two have kind of always been in the same realm, even though whether I've been aware of it or not. And I think just going back as far as the intention for this album, I think I had a little bit more of a, I guess, cinematic awareness that I was trying to maybe think about or conjure on some level. It's interesting what you say. Yeah, like the whole mini movie idea, and like in some ways, I feel like folk music as a tradition, and a lot of music actually as a tradition, kind of has this obvious objective of trying to tell a story.
Totally.
And there is almost this mini movie that can play in the listener's mind, whether they're imagining themselves, in a breakup or some awful situation, but the music's kind of uplifting them, or whatever, like Gordon Lightfoot, they're imagining the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
We just listened to it.
Yeah,
before
we were just
amazing.
Well, and I was talking about, I was like, gosh, the production value on this is amazing. Because if you hear it live, it's a great song regardless, right? But when you hear it in the studio, there is something about it that brings it to life that much more.
Yeah.
It was full.
Yeah. And
totally.
what I wanted to say too about the couple songs we were able to listen to, we're talking about the movie and stuff. It felt as if your guitar was the main character. Like it felt like main character energy. And it, where the guitar, you can like listen on its own. It can be a part of something. It can contribute to the whole, but this felt like it was like leading the revelry or whatever into whatever story, and
it felt like going down a river.
Yeah. And I just wanted to mention that now that we were talking about the movie, because I did feel like that, like total main character energy with your guitar. And it was awesome. Sign me up for it.
Awesome. Oh, thank you.
I'm ready
Thank
for
you.
the t-shirt.
And also, I also feel like a film director in some ways too, because I feel like I'm trying to, and something that the guitar is just so, or the acoustic guitar especially, is so naturally suited for, is to, kind of create a world or create a stage for other instruments to stand on and to sing on, And so in some ways, I feel like the guitar is just so natural at doing that, as far as being a main character while also, giving this world out to other people.
Well, even when you look at like a little local bluegrass pick, you have your A and your B part, you have people playing the rhythm and then setting the stage for somebody to take the break and do the melody.
Absolutely.
And I never thought about it like that. There's another quote on the website today that like the Segovia quote.
Oh yeah.
About a guitar as an orchestra, right? Is that the quote? And never thought about that before. Like, can you explain what that means to you?
Absolutely. So it's on some video on YouTube, but it's findable. But he basically plays the guitar Segovia plays the guitar in all these different ways, and not only so he kind of goes over the whole range of the guitar. He like plays the lower strings and says, this is kind of reminiscent of cellos in a string orchestra. And then I'll like play up high and you say, this is reminiscent of the flutes in an orchestra. Play something in the middle and said it's something more of like the oboes or French horn. It just kind of covers the range of the guitar, but then also plays timbrely differently. Like he'll play brighter if he wants it to sound brassier, or he'll play closer to the neck if he wants it to sound more subdued, or like less overtone information.
Right.
So just to say that within the guitar, you have this whole spectrum, this amazing spectrum of being able to express all these different facets of an orchestra.
Right.
And personally for me, while I think in the way that he utilizes that concept is, he's like one of the greatest solo guitar players of all time, and he's able to make the guitar by itself sound like this fully realized orchestra. For me, I use some of that, but then I also like the idea of handing out the parts that I've come up with on the guitar to my collaborators, and sort of using like the fiddle and bass, for instance, in the trio as almost like extensions of what I would otherwise play.
Wow.
And that for me is, so in some ways, to ground myself in the guitar and hand out, these parts to my collaborators is like to kind of set myself free in a way. Like I'm able to expand myself in ways that I wouldn't have thought of or imagined otherwise.
Yeah, it brings you out of yourself in the playing.
And it's a very unselfish way to include others and like add color to the the template.
Yep, big time.
Yeah,
big time.
I'm curious now about your like upbringing in music. Like you see, like it almost seems like. Are you one of those people that started like 2 years old or something? I mean, just to have that kind
12,
of mind.
I guess. It's like 12. Normal age. Yeah.
What was the beginning for you, Ben?
Yeah, so I started as mostly like an electric player.
Okay.
I played in rock bands, and but at the time I started, I played tuba in my school band, and I stuck with that until like until senior year of high school. So I guess I did that for 7 or 8 years.
Hell yeah. That's a good workout.
And then I was also very passionate about like classical piano. I was taking classical piano lessons pretty rigorously as well. So I had those 3 things going on in like grade school. But the guitar kind of always like occupied this other realm. Like the first teacher I had, like he didn't really read music. And so he would just be showing me all these like rock songs basically, by ear, and to like kind of witness him figuring out stuff by ear in the moment was like the most life-changing thing. And it was in stark contrast to like the more, I don't know, classical kind of traditional schooling I was getting with reading like a tuba part in a band or playing like a classical piece on piano. And so I don't know, like, so the guitar just in a way almost felt just like so much more expansive, and it kind of always had that place for me. And then I joined my high school's jazz band, which was like kind of my first time bringing my guitar to school, and it became just more official that I was like a guitar player, I guess.
You came out with your guitar.
I wasn't like secret,
closet guitarist.
Yeah.
A lot easier to handle than a tuba also.
Yeah, big time. Although I guess pedals and amps and stuff get
or a
heavy,
piano too. If you were doing piano, you can't really roll that into school.
Guess what? Look, guys, what I've been doing.
Totally. So when I joined the jazz band, I started taking lessons from the jazz guitar professor, actually at University of North Texas, which was about an hour north of where I'm from in the Dallas-Fort Worth area in Texas. And that kind of like, it changed my life. I mean, many things in my life have changed my life, but that in particular, that was my introduction to jazz for the first time, and learning how to improvise, and getting kind of such an intimate connection with the head guy at North Texas, Fred Hamilton, for those who know him. It was just such a incredible experience, and so that was definitely super formative. And then when it time to go to college, I wound up going to North Texas, and but still, kind of in this electric guitar, jazz. But I was always pretty open, I guess, genre wise. I was playing in rock bands still in college, and like country bands, and I was in a Pink Floyd tribute band for a little while. Yeah. So like, it was jazz school, but always kind of with this expansive template, I suppose. And then it was around, I guess it was 2014 maybe or so, like halfway through my time at school, stumbled upon this whole world of like Punch Brothers, Julian Lage and Chris Eldridge. Right. A record called Avalon came out that like completely changed my world. And then Bela Fleck, David Grisman, Darryl Anger, Mike Marshall, Jerry Douglas, Edgar Meyer, like just the whole
world.
The whole world just like was like, oh my God, like this, like they're doing all these things. Like, just, I guess for me, coming from such, I guess, this expansive place of, having like a classical understanding through piano and band and stuff, but then also playing guitar, but then also playing like rock music and singer-songwriter stuff, and then jazz, so I just saw this really clear presentation in all those people's music of how you can really clearly merge all these things together in a really potent and beautiful, understandable way. And so I think that just really grabbed me and resonated with me at that point. And since then, I've just been trying to get closer to that music.
I get it. I mean, listening to players like Doc Watson.
Oh man.
Sure, it's traditional bluegrass. It's bluegrass music, but it's so much more when you start to understand the mechanics of what he's doing and where he's taking the music. It's exactly what you're talking about. It's this amalgamation of all these different things put into it. And learning a fiddle tune, I was saying this, we talked to this lady, Trish Imbrogno. Okay. And she's a stand-up bass player and classically trained, but now doing bluegrass. And I'm learning fiddle tunes on the guitar. And I was saying, like, learning a fiddle tune, when you're learning the melody, it sounds to me like classical music. Like it's very melodic and put together the way that like an etude would be or something like that. And
absolutely, yep.
So when you hear players like Doc Watson doing that, I can see how that flipped your switch, you know? And I want to go back to something though. Like you're saying as a 12-year-old, you're taking classical piano lessons. Was that like somebody made you do that, or were you in there?
Well, yeah, I mean, so it was a little scattered. I don't know if I was taking lessons right when I was 12, but I took some lessons when I was 5, and I think I stopped for a while, and I took some when I was 7. But it was like my high school years. I was like really into guitar. I was like playing in a couple like kind of rock bands, but it was like instrumental, kind of arty, whatever, rock bands. And then band I was pretty involved in, and then I was taking kind of heavy duty classical lessons in mostly in high school. And nobody forced me. It was it was
that's
just fun.
fascinating.
I thought it was like beautiful music, just the Chopin nocturnes and all the Debussy stuff, and I was just really genuinely drawn to it. And I was like, I want to do that. I want to be able to, or at least I want to get more inside of it,
Are you like that with a lot of stuff?
Yeah, I'm a little like obsessive.
Join the club. Right?
Well, but I mean, that's kind of the best personality trait for a musician, because if you're obsessive about your instrument or about music in general, there's no cap. You know what I mean? No. Like, it's like you haven't learned everything. You're like, okay, let's go to a new instrument, or let's go to a new genre, or let's go to a new musician that I've never heard before. Like, it's so endless. And I love what you've done. Like, when something's instrumental, you have taken the guardrails off of people's idea of what this music should be.
Yeah.
You have said there's no template, and just listen. And that is so liberating as a literal listener. Like, if you're just listening, you have this music on in the background. There's no like, oh, I'm going to dance to this, or, oh, I'm going to clean to this. This is like an open field for you to engage with it at your liberty. And that's why I love like instrumental so much. Like flamenco is some of my favorite music. You can feel the drama and the passion, and nothing's happened. Like, you know what I mean? Like, a lot has happened. I mean, musically, a lot's happened, but nothing's happened. And the fact that I love instrumental musicians, that like you've named so many different musicians that you've pulled from your whole life. Yeah. Do you feel like there's a couple that have really solidified your style? Or a few, so many. Like, how would you say that? You know what I mean? Like, how would you pull, these are my inspirations, and that's kind of how I currently see my music.
Totally. Well, I just want to say, like, that was so beautiful what you just said about how instrumental music is so expansive and so applicable to just, I don't know, existing in the world. Like, you can apply it to any mood you're in, or just any activity you're doing, and it's just that's part of what I love. I love the abstract nature of it, and I'm just kind of a fan of abstract art in general for that reason, because it's so I don't know, transcendent of like just everything. Of everything, it can mean, the possibilities are infinite. What it can mean, and how it can apply to you, and how it can resonate with you. I
love that too. Like,
so powerful.
The uninterpretive, interpretable.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Hugely so. But so going back to your question about my influences, I mean, so many. Like I mentioned earlier, the Chris Eldridge and Julian Lage duo record, Avalon. I mean, those two guys for me are particularly just, and it's sort of, like, individually, obviously they have influenced me in just so many ways. But especially just together, and they only made, I guess, 2 full-length records and an EP. But as far as the way they merge, and this kind of goes back to the cinematic talk we had earlier, but the way they merge, I guess, songs, typical like folk songs, or even their own songs that they've written, kind of compositional forms, and like, sections and parts, and, sort of a pretty specific framework that they're working in, while also integrating this total freedom and kind of liberty in the music to be able to improvise within it and to be able to kind of render it differently every time they play that. And I don't know, like, so it's like, for me, you know, like that's kind of putting together a certain cinematic quality that you get in, like we said, like the folk music with the mini movies and kind of conjuring the story, and also this, and so, you know, equally cinematic thing that you get in like jazz and improvised music. But that music tends to be more, I think, centered around this like momentary, spontaneous kind of colloquial thing that's happening just between the musicians on stage,
right.
you know? And to me, it's sort of just like a fundamentally different kind of storytelling than like the folk music that most of us are maybe used to. And so anyway, that intersection that you know, that Julian and Critter just so elegantly and artfully intersect is just like an infinite inspiration.
What you're talking about, I never thought about before, but like the jazz side of things, to me, like now that you said that, you could equate that to like freestyle rapping.
Yeah.
Where like it's an expression of mind in real time of the group think that's happening. And then the other side of that is more painting the picture that you want to show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That's cool, man. I never thought about it like that before. That's dope.
Well, you know, I don't know. And those two things together, you know, it's.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I don't know. That's kind of, that's what I'm interested in at the moment. And,
I mean and it's infinite. Like
it really is.
That's one cool thing about being a musician is that there's no like summit, right?
Yeah.
Like you never like, I did it with the guitar. You're always learning. Yeah. Like it's forever, you know, and it's based on you and how you feel and what your motivation and whatever is that particular day. And
totally.
And it's cool to have something like that in our lives to keep us striving to be better at something all the time. And then also something that can offer us the opportunity to see when we've gotten better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of things aren't like that. Like this, you pull off something that you've been trying to do for a while. You're like, fuck, I did it. Can't believe it.
Totally.
Yeah, man.
That's the beautiful thing about making, you know, just being in the privileged position to make albums or movies or whatever your art form is. It's like to be able to document these moments in life, you know, I think is so powerful and so meaningful for exactly that reason that you just said. You know, you can really tangibly see, you know, your journey and how you've progressed, and it's just that's where it's at. Even
with a podcast, it's like that. I go back and I listen to like first couple episodes of this. I'm like, oh God, now it's different. It's a completely different thing. And like I said, it's good to have guideposts along the way for yourself as you move through, and especially like, I don't know, man, deciding to be a musician. I have so much respect for you guys that you've like given yourself to that thing, because it's probably one of the most difficult professions to like survive, especially right now.
And to stay relevant too. Like, you know, sometimes you like really reach a great point, like a pinnacle, and then where do you go next? So I can imagine, like you sell out your stadium and you make this amazing album that's timeless and your merch isn't on fire. And then people they always want more.
Yeah. What's next?
Right.
They always want
what have
more.
You done for me lately?
How do you like,
machine.
you know, exactly. How do you feed the machine? How do you like, you know, without taxing yourself too much about like these exterior expectations, you still know that they're there. Like, how do you marry that within yourself, or, you know, temper that?
Yeah. Wow. Well, you know, I just try not to think about it too much. You know, I'm also just in a weird I'm in a weird phase right now where I am sort of trying to just get off the ground and trying to just create a lot of momentum and doing this album release tour. And we got videos for like all the songs on the record that are going to slowly trickle out. And, so in some ways this record is a lot more mindful than previous work that I've done about trying to build momentum and trying to connect with people and all that. But at the same time, it can just be distracting, or all that stuff is actually not that relevant to the thing
Right.
at hand, which is just, trying to be an expressive and honest and cathartic artist.
Right.
you know?
Right.
Yeah. And if you continue
And,
with that, that's always going to be current. Do you know what I mean? Like that.
Absolutely.
If you're continuing with that in your heart and in your head, and you're trying to be honest, well, anytime you play, that's what's going to come out then.
That's literally the definition of timeless, I think.
Yes.
Is if you're coming from the most true part of yourself, and because time, time obviously does factor into that, because we're all of a time and place, and all the work we make is of a time and place. But if you're really being true to that moment, that's what creates that sense of like, oh wow, like that's true no matter what.
That's
Yeah.
yeah. And so what's in your experience, what's the most difficult part of getting people to hear what you're doing?
Fighting through the noise.
Okay,
Yeah. I don't know. The most difficult part of getting people to hear what I'm doing.
On the business side, let's just go with that, because the other part is you can't control people hearing what you're up to. But like on the business side,
yeah. What are some difficulties that I don't know.
Because there's a lot of content out there, man.
There's a lot of content. There's a lot of, and frankly, the platforms are so much, I don't know, they seem to just not be at the interest of artists making art. And
which is weird, because it's a platform for artists making art.
I know.
Right?
You think.
I'm going to start this thing for people that do a thing, but I'm going to make it really hard for them to do the thing they do and not pay them.
Totally.
And make them all love it.
And now I'm rich.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
There's no good answer to that, Ben.
No.
He set you up. There's no good answer. He set you up.
That's tough.
What you're doing is the right thing. You're getting out and you're being honest and talking about your craft and like your beginnings and making people fall in love with the artist. And then it doesn't matter what art you put out. We love the person. So we're going to at least check out the art. And maybe we don't like song 1, but we love the other 10 songs. Who cares? Like, I think that's kind of the modern way of like supporting the musician with more than just your money. Like you're supporting them as a human being and for doing their craft. Like I said, I might not like 2 of those songs, but I love that album, so I'm gonna buy it. And that is the support for the artist, and listening to this interview and like buying your merch and like listening to other people that you collaborate with and opening up the musical field in that way. And I think that it's gonna be a grassroots effort for musicians no matter what. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
absolutely.
It's the clubs, it's the auditoriums, it's, the festivals, whatever. Like, these are our exposure. And then that's how you grab those people. You grab, like, by being in the moment, like you said a moment ago. And like, wow, Ben was freaking amazing. I don't care what he puts out. I'm going to seek him out, Well,
also, I think it's also doing what you were saying a little while ago about like, having videos too.
Yeah, videos do make a difference, Ben.
What was that experience like for you, like making videos for your stuff?
Right. It's been fun. It's been, and I've been editing all the videos by myself.
Oh shit.
And it's which you just kind of have to do these days because everything.
Are you using Premiere?
I'm using a program called DaVinci Resolve.
Oh, okay. I know. Okay. Yeah.
So it's free program. I just bought the studio version, so it has all these extra features on it. But yeah, it's been. I weirdly kind of enjoy that because I think it ties into like the cinematic brain that I have towards music and just trying to like in equal parts tell just as much of a story with kind of the cinematic lens as I am with the music. And also I just feel like I'm probably in the best position to render these videos in a way because I feel like I have an idea of how the music, I don't know, grows and develops. And so capturing that from whatever camera angle or telling that story with the cameras is fun. So yeah, it was kind of the first time that we got the way that we did it was we would record kind of regularly in the studio to get the album versions of the song. And then at the end of the day, we'd all gather in the big room of the studio, and then the camera people would come. And we just play the songs completely live, like no headphones, just all right next to each other. And really interesting, just like what, because certain things came out that weren't necessarily coming out in all day in the studio. And so, and actually I appreciate having, in some ways I made two records. I made a record that, kind of a studio version, and I made sort of, I guess, like a live record. That was fun in and of itself, I would say. And
that's
just
really
interesting
cool.
how yeah,
so you put out like you put out a double album with movies to go with it and everything.
Yeah.
So in that thought, is it hard to play the same song exactly the same way twice?
Well, so that's a great question. So we, because there's all this room for improvisation and sections kind of opening up and blah, blah, I think we essentially kept the same arrangements of all the songs when we did them live at the end of the day. But solos would turn out differently, and the way that we would arrive at a certain point would probably turn out differently. And so to me, I guess, capturing that and kind of obviously showing like, hey, yes, this album version exists and check this out, but then also check out this video where you can actually see us doing maybe something a little bit differently,
doing the thing
with the music. And
Apple.
yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, we always have to say that we have a huge thank you to John Mylander.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Since we have talked to him, he has turned us on to so many other artists like you. And I'm just curious because we were listening to Dragonfly Acres right before. I was like, you got to go there and look at this and listen to the single. And we were listening to that. I'm just curious how you and John came together and got to know each other.
Right on. Yeah. I mean, John is just one of my favorite people of all time and one of my favorite musicians and composers. And so John, how did we meet? I don't know. Sometimes in Nashville, you move to Nashville, you just like meet all these musicians, and everyone's like mutual friends with each other, and so it's sometimes like hard to actually think about. It's like, how did I actually?
Where did this occur?
We're all part of the same suit.
From the scene. You met him in the scene.
Yeah, we're all like in this
at a club. Oh no.
Yeah, totally. So John and I somehow met. I'm not remembering off the top of my head, but. He asked me to sub, to his guitar player, Jake Stargell, who's amazing, wasn't able to do like a certain amount of gigs at various points. And so John would ask me to play guitar with him in his band, Forecast.
It's an amazing band.
That was, amazing band. Yeah. Totally amazing band. And so that was, I guess, the first obvious collaboration that he and I had. And then, I played in his band Forecast, and then we've done some duo gigs around Nashville that have been really fun and basically just like, entirely free improv.
That's dope.
Gigs.
Yeah.
And
how fun.
Some stuff, he's doing stuff with pedals, and I got like kind of like a visual rig that I sometimes mess with. And, so that's been fun. But then it kind of, I had this tune, Dragonfly Acres, that I had composed and was originally going to put on my second record, Kites Keep. But just something about the vibe of it, or the temperament, just didn't feel like it fit with everything else that I had going for this record. So it's like, how can I maybe put this somewhere. And John kind of just immediately came to mind. And I just reached out to him and said, hey, would you want to collaborate, Ben plus all of Forecast, and we go to the studio and record this and make a video and all that. And he was like, yes, let's do that. And so we did it. And yeah, so I guess that's our only recorded collaboration so far, but we've absolutely talked about doing more stuff down the road, and I hope to, because he's just, again, he's the best.
Yeah.
And
Nashville sounds like just an incredible place. How long have you lived down there?
I've lived here for 8 years. Moved here actually, 8 years, like around this time, because I moved in 2017, the week of Americana Fest, which is this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So do you find it overwhelming with so many places to play and musicians and like what Nashville is? Was that did that take an adjustment period for you?
A little bit, although I feel like I kind of quickly found, so I got a touring gig pretty soon after I moved here, actually about like a week or so after I moved here, with an amazing bass player, singer-songwriter, bluegrass bass player, singer-songwriter named Missy Raines. And I've been playing with her since I moved here. And, that kind of definitely provided like a certain template, or just a way to just be a part of the community
to
kind of
break
immediately.
in,
Yep, exactly. And then and then I worked on my first record with Chris Eldridge and that crew of musicians. And I guess I just being such a weirdo, being kind of just like I don't know, it's been in some ways not as, I don't know, intimidating, or I just feel like I've been able to find the musicians that really inspire me, and they have just, kind of to my bewilderment, are very gracious with their time and are very, willing to work with me, and that's just been a dream. And so I don't know, I feel like I've kind of settled into a certain
vibe and
thing here that
sounds like you stepped right into something that was waiting for you.
That's kind of it. Yeah,
it does. Like one weekend.
I know. That's a great way to say it, actually.
Same thing happened to us, man. We moved.
Really?
Mel and I have been married for almost 28 years. Apple
Amazing.
and I have been best friends for
41 years or something.
Wow.
And
Killer.
we moved from Vegas almost 10 years ago to Portland, Oregon.
Oh, nice.
And we weren't doing No Simple Road in Vegas. There was no nothing.
We were just living our family,
life. Yeah.
married with kids. And then
we
normal.
moved up here, and all this happened, and it was like it's something was waiting for us up here. So I completely understand.
Sometimes it just happens, and you just gotta follow that.
Yeah,
that calling.
That's magic.
Well, and you're in a place where this is like a creative hub for exactly what you do. Like our daughter lives in LA, and she has a huge group of friends that all support each other in this incredible way, where one's a stylist, there's a photographer, there's the model, there's the musician, there's the DJ, and they all kind of feed and help network with each other. And it's grown into this incredible thing, which, like you said, hey, will you do this video with me and record this thing with me? And then they're like, yeah, let's do it. And next thing you know, it's this incredible feature. And
I know.
You have to be around the people that are willing to put themselves out there the way that you are. Because if you don't, then maybe sure you'll rise to the top, but then who are you going to play with?
Well, and you're wasting your energy trying to drag people along too.
Totally. No, I mean, just you can't underestimate the power of community. It's just so, especially as an artist, I tell that people ask what advice might you give or something like that, and I always just say you need time to build a community that can help you.
That's
and that's
cool.
because no successful artist I know has ever made it alone. It's just kind of impossible.
Yeah, you don't exist in a vacuum.
So Ben, I was wondering, think about back when you were younger, if you can remember, and you were like, I want to be a musician. What did that look like to you back then? And how is it different?
Probably just wanted to play in like a pop punk band or something.
But you know, like when we're little, we've got these grandiose ideas of what things should be.
I want a
or,
tour
like,
bus.
But like now in reality, you're literally a working musician doing the thing.
I know. No, it's kind of surreal in a way. I dreamed so much about, I guess, music. I mean, and not actually. It wasn't necessarily like lifestyle or like being a rock star. Like, I don't know. I think I was just more the dreamscapiness of music and just like, you know, kind of just the place that it put me mentally was just so appealing to me. And I think I just wanted to be there and no better place to be there than to be playing it.
Yeah,
exactly.
True. Are your parents stoked for you doing this?
Yes, and very fortunately so. Like neither of them are musicians. They're both college professors. Actually, I come from like an academic family. But
wow.
But they just like total music lovers and just have been incredibly supportive. And
that also, like, having the support, you talk about community, also having the support of family behind you is like a huge deal, man.
That's the world.
Unbelievably. That's everything. It's really, yeah.
Yeah. I think about like our kids and, you know, when mom and dad are behind you, like, yeah, do your thing, man. We got your back no matter what. Have at it. Yeah. That gives you a certain kind of mental freedom to like attack your dream in a real kind of a way without worrying about falling too much. And I think that's a gift, man.
Well, and the other while I'm thinking about that is like, it was a gift to have their support, but it was also in some weird way a gift to have them, like, they weren't apathetic, but just with like both of them being non-musicians, like I feel like in some ways they don't, like, they would have been just as happy if I was just like, I don't know, something else, or if I was a different kind of musician, or like, you know, they don't strike me as, they weren't like very like, you must
you've got to be a lawyer, come on, if you have to be this kind of musician, or you have to be doing this, or you have to be taking lessons all the time, or, you know, they were not like militant or like strict, or like, you know, I hear my friends talk about them growing up and just the way their parents would be involved in their musical lives, you know, and it can be a heavy thing. You know, in some ways that can almost be like a different kind of like negative pressure.
Totally.
You know?
You got to practice an hour a day, and you're going to lessons whether you like it or not.
That's not allowing you to be yourself. That's putting their expectations on you, and then you got to live up to that.
Big time.
That's
exactly.
And then adding the shit of like, if you want to be a musician, you better have a backup.
Right. No, it was literally none of that. It was just like, you want to be a musician? Great.
Sweet.
Like, go. Like,
perfect.
All right.
Go do it.
Scuttle along now. Like, go for it.
I mean, that's kind of cool. You got to literally navigate your own career that you didn't know what you wanted to be like.
Totally.
But you've created this cool thing with a community of people that bring you up and that you can help bring up, and like creating dope soundscapes to unimaginable terrain. Like, I would say thumbs up, Ben. Like, for real. Like, truly, thank you for putting such great music out there, and like, and you're just doing what you love, you know?
Thank you.
Really cool.
Well, I was going to
that means a lot.
Speaking of community and players and everything, can you give us tell us a little bit about who else is playing on the new record with you?
Oh, totally. Sure. So like I said, you know, kind of centers around this guitar or fiddle, guitar, bass trio. And on fiddle, there's two fiddle players on this record. You might have heard of them, Brittany Haas and Daryl Anger. Just two of my all-time favorites, and just, you know, it's just such a interpretive power to what they do. You know, it's like they're not going to just like play verbatim what you write for them. They're going to like, it's like that times like 10 times
Hell yeah.
more stuff, and it's just
That
like
plus the
it's
person. Yeah.
yeah, and going back to like the guitar being like this actor and film director, like that's all you would want as a film director is to like have the actors bring their experiences and their perspective to what you're trying to do, and just bring it to life in ways that you never would have imagined possible. So they're hugely responsible for, I would say, the life force and just awesomeness that occurs at times on this record. And so Brittany Haas, Daryl Anger, Ethan Yojevitz on upright bass for much of the record, although Paul Coert, who plays in Punch Brothers, played bass on one song, track 5, The Clockmaker. And Chris Eldridge, who produced my first record, plays guitar on 2 songs. And then my good friend Matt Glassmeyer, who's like the role he plays on this album is like I would say 10% of who he is just as a person and musician.
Wow.
He plays piano on one song, but he's like this multi-instrumentalist, like crazy amazing improviser. He and I actually have like a free improv duo project that we try to get together like a couple times a year and record
fun.
some of that. And but he's like, just kind of a conceptual artist, and he's also kind of this like community leader in Nashville of like all these creative people, and hosts like a little concert series once a month at his house. And he's just totally inspiring and an amazing person that I'm lucky to know. And I think that's everybody.
So what is the you said the album, it's for everybody listening, it's called Kites Keep. It's coming out on the 10th of October, right?
Yep.
And so you're dropping songs a little bit at a time up until then, or what?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, like it's kind of a 3 single release schedule.
All right. Yeah, man. I can't wait to hear the whole thing. It's yeah, man.
Yeah.
Just a little taste. Those first 2 songs, I'm like, I'm in. Let's go.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I got to ask you before we go.
Sure.
Because Nashville is not just a music town; it's also a food town.
It's becoming that way. But you guys, you guys are in Portland, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that is like the food town.
Totally.
Yeah.
What's your favorite spot in Nashville?
Oh man, so there's been a couple places that have just opened up around here.
Okay.
Because I actually, I don't know. I feel like Nashville, even like 4 years ago, like maybe like wasn't a foodie town.
All right.
I mean, there's definitely good places, but like, I mean, kind of like Portland or Austin, Texas, or New York City or whatever. But yeah. So there's been a couple places that have been opening up, and and these are like, there's a couple. There's one go-to spot I go to more than I would like to admit. It's called East Side Banh Mi. It's an amazing like Vietnamese place. Okay. You can get like incredible banh mi's, but then also they have these like rice bowls with like pork and like it's like a salad, but like all these like, and then the sauces are really amazing. But then let's see, there's a place called Rolf and Daughters. It's a little bit like fancier, but very, very good. There's a brand new place called Butter Lamp that just opened up, and it's not. Yeah, it's a cool name. It's not really like a restaurant, but you get these like bread, like just like things like on top of sourdough, basically.
Oh my God, you're speaking.
That's our jam.
It's transcendent. It's like, and you get some like wine with that, and it's just like,
oh shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good place for like a date.
That's good to hear, because the first thing I think of like Nashville, it's like is hot chicken.
Hot chicken, yeah. Which I mean, like Prince's. I mean, come on. Yeah. I mean, there's so many great hot chicken and like barbecue, and I love those places too. But anyway, those are the ones that I have.
Sounds like a nightmare town to be a vegan.
Well, and there's some really, really good vegan spots too.
Okay.
Called, Gray's is really good, and Wild Cow. I love those places too. But anyway,
I just
Right on.
I think about that place and I know that we have to visit at some point. So,
I have been to Nashville and I loved it. It was a really
Nice.
great place. I have a good girlfriend that has a business there, and yeah, it's a really fun place. And it was
Cool.
I'm not a bar hopper, but I did the whole bar hopping thing, and it was an incredible time. And that's where I heard about the Revivalists. I'd never heard about the Revivalists before, and they were
this is like
performing.
2014, right?
Yeah, 2014.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, like went to that warehouse where they've got a bunch of different venues inside, which I can't remember the name of it now, but that's where I saw them. And like, it was just like such a cool experience because we didn't have No Simple Road yet. So I had, my eyes were different. Do you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Like if you're a musician and do something, that's one thing. If you're an onlooker and do something, that's another, right? Like, so being in Nashville without any of the musical, scope in my head and just seeing these bands, like I was enthralled. I couldn't believe that there was so many
amazing.
bands at one time and so many people just on a regular Wednesday night, just out and about. And like these people are playing for their life. It was like, it was amazing. I hadn't witnessed that. I've only seen like professional, things in Las Vegas at the time is where we're from. So, these gorgeous rooms with 3,000 or more people or whatever. And then being in Nashville with this like gritty people playing for their life. And like, it was amazing.
She came home from that trip and was like, we need to see more live music. And I was like, fuck yeah.
Let's go. Look, man, when you see people like that's their living and they're bringing that energy. I think about this. Somebody goes to work and they don't feel like going to work, right? Like they kind of have like maybe a shitty attitude, or even if it's not shitty, that's just average. But a musician cannot go to work with a shitty attitude. You can. You can.
You certainly can. And many do.
You can. But you're going to feel that is my point. You're going to feel that and you're going to see that.
Absolutely.
And then that person won't play that long, or that person will be found out, But you're with a musician, you have to bring the smiles. You got to bring the energy. You got to like move around. And that's really enticing to me. I'm a high energy person, and if somebody can do that for like everybody,
I never noticed.
Like it just is incredible. It's that, and you're not even playing music yet. Do you know what I mean? Like it's all this energy, and then you got to play music.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's definitely it's a job that requires you to be stoked all the time.
Yes, exactly what I meant. Thank you for summing it up, Ben.
Hell yeah.
That's fucking funny, man. Well, shit, man. If you come through Portland, you got my number, man. Let's hang out.
Yeah,
What's up?
absolutely. I'd love that.
All right.
Oh, you guys seem so rad.
I'll take you to get some Vietnamese food, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, man.
We've got a cool banh mi spot too.
Oh, cool. Oh man.
Thanks for hanging out with us, Ben.
Totally. Thanks for having me.
All right. We'll talk to you soon, brother.
All right.
Sounds good.
Take care,
All
Ben.
right. Peace.
Aw, right on, Ben.
Thanks, John. Thank you so much. for
Yeah,
doing
John, he knows what he's doing.
that. John
man.
knows what's up. And
Well,
Ben knows what's up.
What an enthusiasm from the moment we got
He's got to
on
be
with
stoked.
him.
Well,
When you see the composer in it, when he's answering questions, a lot of times he's doing
Eyes
it with
closed.
his eyes closed,
Yep.
or doing like the tray and like looking up, like, yeah, there's
there's certain people that when they come on the Zoom, their smile is like electric. He's got one of those smiles that's like, oh fuck, this dude's dope.
Like he emotes with all of himself.
Yeah.
yeah,
And-
it makes us feel welcome.
Yeah, and the music actually now meeting him makes infinitely more. Not that it didn't make sense before, but I understand it even more.
Well, but
after
that's
meeting
what
him.
we do at No Simple Road. That's the epitome of what we do. It's this person that you may not have heard of. You listen to this music or the interview, and then you go back and listen to the music, and you're like, holy cow.
Yeah.
There they are.
Oh, also, I fucked up the beginning of the interview, everybody. You missed him introducing himself. That was Ben Garnett.
Oh,
God.
Okay.
I fucked up. I didn't have his track live.
Oh,
But
shit.
it's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right, man.
Yeah.
We roll with the punches over
great
here.
We sure do.
conversation. Like,
And
wow.
I'm going to say that I enjoyed doing the intro before the interview.
Yeah. It was great.
Yeah.
Hope y'all
I
liked
don't know
it.
why I didn't think of that earlier.
Because when you do something the same way all the time, you very rarely tend to deviate.
Well, and it seems like
True.
It seems like before too, we would do it afterwards to kind of speak towards the conversation, but we don't need to do that. A lot of times we'd shush each other. Like, well, don't talk about
give
it
it
because
away.
they're going to hear it.
Tell them the
And,
punchline.
yeah, that was kind of cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, let us know if you guys liked it. You can, well, I'm going to burp at all of you. You can send us a
Burp
note
at
at info@nosimpleroad.com. And hey, man, if y'all would do us a solid, go over to patreon.com/nosimpleroad. Sign up for $1 on Patreon. Or if you just want to buy the three of us a cup of coffee, you can send us a PayPal gift at nosimpleroad@gmail.com.
Yeah, I like vanilla lattes.
Yeah, you could
Those
buy
are my
us all a
favorite.
cup of coffee. Anyway, go listen to Kites Keep. It comes out on October 10th.
A couple days after my birthday, y'all.
And it will take you on a cinematic journey inside your head. I promise you that's what it'll do. And Ben, thanks for hanging out with us. And John, thanks for the connection. And all of you, take care of each other. Smile at a stranger. Safety third. Hydrate.
And Nashville, keep rocking.
Yeah, make me some chicken, Nashville.
Hot chicken.
Love y'all. Peace.
But it's a burden. Felony just been deferred, and hella means been the earth, and alchemy can bring the birth, the melody of a newborn. So persistent, so resistant, so insistent, so commitment, so resilient, or haven't you learned it? No simple road. 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 My windshield is shattered as I focus through the spot in the corner that is still intact. The react is both a defense mechanism as well as a fear. We've traveled this road before, so we may think, but it's a tad bit of strange similarities that feed an A=A complex. The fears of your past do not equal the perplexities of the current road.
This is Lawrence Lanahan, journalist, musician, and host of Rearranged, an Osiris Media podcast about music arranging. Once a song is written, arrangers make musical decisions that shape how we end up hearing the song. And we're not just talking about adding orchestral accompaniment, like horns and strings, or doing a cover version of a song. Arrangement can be putting happy music over dark lyrics, using samples, recording all acoustic, even tiny decisions like putting an electronic loop into an acoustic song to draw your attention to an important turn of phrase. It's all arranging. Rearranged episodes are documentary essays where I use arrangements to answer some big questions like what is a song? And what can a song become? And how can the sound of a song change the meaning you take from it? Listening this way has changed my relationship with music. Tune into Rearranged, and maybe it'll happen for you too. Learn more at rearrangedpodcast.com.
Osiris.